When you see satire done poorly or it makes you cringe, what is the feedback you most commonly want to deliver?
Nowadays, the most common feedback I deliver is don't do fake news. What are you doing? It's a crowded
Mhm.
space. Everybody's doing it. Do something else. Doesn't have to be fake news. uh, yeah, by far, that's what I say.
That's a pretty good segue into what you're doing with How to Write Funny. It started as a single book, then became a series, became a podcast. Now you've developed it into online courses. What made you want to like teach all this stuff to other people instead of just hoarding the wisdom for yourself?
Good question. I was always the like teacher, mentor guy at the Onion. I was the old man. I was always in charge of creative. And so I would always hire people who had no comedy experience and I would teach them how to do it. And I would always try to teach them the fundamentals, not just how to do an Onion piece of comedy, but the fundamentals of comedy so that when they left the Onion, which they all did, they could succeed in TV or books or whatever they wanted to do. And I felt like I really had that down. I felt like I really knew how to do that. And when I left the Onion for the final time in 2014, I felt this urge to write down what I knew because there wasn't such a book. And when I was a kid starting out in comedy, I would have killed for a book like that like explained the tricks and how to do everything. There wasn't anything like it. Yeah, it was kind of a risky move. I had never done like a straight, you know, nonfiction how-to book without any jokes, but I just laid it all out and I put it out there and it felt pretty good. And I started teaching it at the Second City Training Center in Chicago and set up a series of classes in partnership with the Onion. And yeah, sort of I fell right into that because, like I said, it was what I had done at the Onion for so long. And it was one of my favorite parts of the job, actually, was training people.
If people want to jump into your stuff and make like a serious run at writing comedy, where's the best place to start? Is it just the How to Write Funny book?
Yeah, I would say so, but there are cheaper and even easier ways to start. You can binge the podcast. They're all on YouTube. There are free books and free materials available at howtowritefunny.com, and that'll certainly get anybody started. The book, I would have to say, is kind of a deep dive, especially the series of books, you know. But if you read, studied, and learned all three of the books plus the fourth book, which is called How to Write Funny Characters, you'd be a master comedy professional. So everything's there. It's just a matter of how deep you want to dip your toes in. You know?
I mean, we've touched on a handful of your books. Do you have a favorite one that you've published, whether it's that series or something that was under the Onion imprint?
That's funny you ask because my favorite book is one that I published under a pen name a few years ago. And I'm going to tweak it and republish it under my name. But it's a novel about a guy who's moving backwards through time. Like time moves in reverse for him. So everybody perceives him as moving backwards. And he moves from the future to the past, just gradually. And I just love everything about it. And I'm rereading it now in order to figure out how I want to like edit it. And yeah, super excited about that one. Number two, I would have to say, is Our Dumb Century, the Onion's first original book. Really put a lot of my heart and soul into that book. Worked with the amazing team of writers at the Onion. Very proud of it. Still stands up. If you want to learn the history of the 20th century, you could do worse. And yeah, those are definitely top two.
Okay.